Undercurrent, sponsored by John Hughes in Victoria Park. Choose your station before you choose your program. Absolutely.
Well, things are abuzz in North Fremantle with plans to expand and upgrade the highway there, but not everybody is happy about it. Next up, Johnny Crockett finds out more in his Undercurrent debut.
We're here in North Fremantle to talk about the proposed expansion of Stirling Highway across Queen Victoria Street. The proposed expansion will see a new lane be put in right here, which will essentially cut out half of the town centre. Local business owners are in a bit of an uproar about this. We're going to talk to a few of them and see exactly what they have to say. Andrew, what effect do you think the proposed changes would have?
There's two types of effects. The first one is that one of the three main buildings in the town centre would need to be demolished to widen the lanes here up at the traffic lights, and that's a fairly significant loss. You know, we've only got three main buildings, three two-storey buildings. The other effect is that in the longer term we anticipate that they'll want to widen the whole road through the town centre, so going from 2 lanes to 4 lanes through the middle of the town centre, and that'll wipe out all the parking, all the trees, all the landscaping and atmosphere that was put in place.
Johnny, I don't think it's too much a matter of how it's going to affect my business. I think it's more a question of how it's going to affect the whole community. Where the local businesses, you know, including myself and the local council, have worked very hard to create what's becoming a very vibrant town centre. These kind of proposals, if they come through, will result in us losing half our town centre. So obviously that'll affect me because it's not as desirable a place to go, but to be honest, I'm more concerned about losing valuable places like this.
For me, this is my business. I left a very long-standing career to open up a cafe and provide a wonderful service to customers. It's a kind of a cultural community cafe, and the whole street is, you know, it's a great meeting place. There's a really good vibe here.
I've been here for 7 years, booking bands every night, 7 days a week for that period. I bought in, attracted to the town centre of North Fremantle, and attracted to the legend of Mojo's. Whilst I've been here, the width of the roads has come in, and main roads seem to be recognising, and in fact they did recognise this as a town centre. Now there is a proposal whereby they are going to contradict themselves and seek to begin the widening of the road by putting a bus lane in.
I mean, I started out here, Matty Gresh started out here. I know about I don't know 15 years ago, John Butler started out playing in this pub when it was called the Stone Crow, and I mean most bands from Fremantle all come to this awesome bar and play here because it's such a relaxed atmosphere, and anyone can get up and do what they want to do. You know?
Look, I'm local. This is my pub, the Mojo's, that I come to and listen to local music. This pub was the Stone Crow 22, 24 years ago. It's long-standing traditions here, and this road here does not get busy. It does not get busy.
Do you think that there is a traffic problem in the area?
There's a traffic problem all over the world. It's kind of like money. No matter how much money you've got, you're going to spend it all. No matter how many roads you've got, you're going to fill them with cars. So new plans need to come in.
I do not think there's a problem. I think that we can easily, you know, put up with a little bit of congestion. The buses, I've noticed, aren't even half full most of the time.
Look, I don't think it's that big a deal. You know, obviously in peak hour there are, you know, certain bottlenecks, but I don't think the proposal that's been put through here is going to solve that problem. You know, we're still going to have the same bottlenecks.
The reality is the only way they can do that is to really widen the street all the way down the town centre. You know, buses are to get somewhere. This is somewhere. There's no point in destroying somewhere just so the buses can get through here quicker.
Well, there you have it. The locals obviously aren't too concerned about the traffic problem in the area. I'm Johnny Crockett. You're watching Undercurrent.
it seems here in Western Australia at the moment we're quite enthralled by ice skating. What with the pop-up rink in Fremantle during the school holidays, and now the Nutcracker on ice at Our Majesty's Theatre. Well, next up, Miles Riley finds out more about this production with an international flavour.
We're here at His Majesty's Theatre for the opening of the Nutcracker on Ice. The Nutcracker on Ice follows the classic Russian tale of Maria, the little girl whose love brings to life her cherished Nutcracker doll, a magical Christmas gift from her mysterious godfather, leading to adventures with the Mouse King, the Enchanted Prince and the Sugar Plum Fairy. The cast is made up of 26 world, European and national championship skaters who hold more than 250 competition medals between them. Olga Sharatanka is usually a principal skater, but for the Nutcracker on Ice chose the less demanding role of the magician's assistant.
Obviously we do have magic on stage, and I'm assisting him, and I'm assisting him everywhere, and I'm trying to learn something, and I'm a very fun character, very cheeky character.
And I read that the sets are actually designed by an Australian set designer.
Eamon Darcy is a designer. It's just amazing what he can do, and with all the ideas that Tony Mercer has for us and for the show whole, he can just produce an incredible set where we can feel like we are inside that time, inside that era. And the set was built in here in Australia, so which is very, very nice. And also we have lots of different things going on stage, like fire, like snow, and like illusion. We do have lots of different things to impress, or just to make you feel like forget about your day.
So the Nutcracker is in the middle of a world tour. Tell me, what are one of your favourite things about performing in Australia?
Just the reaction of the audience. It is a Christmas story, and it's that great fun to see. You don't really have ice and snow falling down, and you don't see it every year. That in Russia we experience half of the year. We experience that kind of weather, and that magic and the emotions of how people do react. And when you can impress people with the little different things, and you can hear that audience appreciate every little detail inside the show, from the costumes, decorations, or just the ambience of the performance. It's just amazing.
The Nutcracker on Ice is sure to thrill and enchant audiences of all ages. The show runs from the 2nd to the 12th of August, and for more details visit WTV Perth's Facebook page. I'm Miles Riley reporting for Undercurrent.
Well, next up on Undercurrent, our big boss, Tibor Mazzaros, sits down for a chat with the founder of the Citizens Electoral Council to talk about its 25th year anniversary.
We're in a point of history today where our country and the world are facing a frightening existential crisis which we've never experienced before.
Like most political parties that go against the status quo, you don't get the coverage within the media. However, when we do, we get shut down pretty quick, which is not surprising, right? Because you step on a lot of toes and they might have to explain themselves. And the last thing you want to have in this country is a real debate about real economic policies. We stand in the policies of old Labor. Go back and look at the history of old Labor in this country. It's there for everyone to see. You had the likes of King O'Malley that established the Commonwealth Bank on the principle of having a bank that supported the development of the prosperity of the physical wealth of the country. And consequently, the policies that we represent are policies that look at rebuilding our country. We talk in our political party in terms of physical economic policies. That is, we have to rebuild what we actually produce. We have to support manufacturers. And in many cases, people say, well, what does the CEC actually represent? Where do we come from? The Citizens Electoral Council is 25 years old this year as a registered political party. We represent the only counter-position to globalisation and free trade policies in this country. It goes back to 1988, where we, a group of farmers actually, in Kingaroy, Queensland, decided that we need to have a political party that represented the principles of national sovereignty and that outright rejected the policies of globalisation, free trade and privatisation, which are the hegemonic policies of today. We founded a party back then that said, no, the issues for our country is that we have to have a sovereign nation, we have to have a strong independent nation, we need national banking, not the central banking models that we have today, which are completely overrun with speculation. We said enough is enough. We need a political party that stands for these principles. Now, over those 25 years, we have never wavered from those principles, and consequently we've made life rather tough for a lot of politicians in this country when we've sort of screamed from the rooftop that the emperor has no clothes on these policies of economic rationalism. The first person that we upset was Warren Truss because we defeated him in the seat of Baramba back in 1988, which was a very interesting defeat. Now, of course, he's the leader of the National Party. So consequently, he doesn't like us very much at all. When we first moved to Melbourne, there was a major campaign to get rid of us in the middle of the 1990s. That was led by the member for Melbourne Ports, Michael Danby. He led campaigns to accuse us of all sorts of things that we weren't. I mean, the idea was to try and marginalise us, to try and call us right-wing extremists. We're associated internationally with Lyndon LaRouche. Lyndon LaRouche is a physical economist. And I think the real freak out was that Mr LaRouche for 50 years has been fighting against policies of globalisation and free trade, and consequently he is highly recognised. What people may not know about Mr LaRouche is that in 1982 he wrote an economic development program called Operation Juarez that was adopted by President Portillo of Mexico, causing the nationalisation of the oil industry at that point. Consequently, he's also hated and despised by the factions that support the global financial system at the present time, which we refer to as a British financial system. I think many people have seen the problems that are taking place in Europe and around the world on the collapse of the financial system. They've seen the disintegration of Greece as a nation state, also Spain and likewise. The issue for Australia is that we are not immune from those financial turbulences.
Well, that brings us to the end of tonight's show. Certainly hope you've enjoyed all the stories. Have a wonderful week, and I can't wait to see you next week for more of Western Australia's very own Undercurrent.
Undercurrent, sponsored by John Hughes in Victoria Park. Choose your station before you choose your program. Absolutely.